Hello friends, today's video is a bins haul and I am going to just jump right in here because I want to get this video out to you guys today as well. It is Monday right now. Normally I would record a week in what sold for you today, but I had jury duty this morning, so luckily I got off within probably the first 2 hours. So I just came back here. I had already done my shipping last night because I wasn't sure if I was going to get home in time to make it to the post office today. So anyways, I'm going to jump right in. I did want to thank Hello Bethel though, who bought me this coffee and said, just wanted to buy you a coffee to say thanks for making videos again. I'm so glad you came back and started making content after you guys took a break. You're my favorite channel. Thank you so much. This was a nice treat after going to jury duty this morning. And I'm really glad to be still doing content as well. And I'm really proud of myself for continuing it, even if it's just by myself. So also, if you guys do hear any noise, Chris is just behind the door doing some inventory. So yeah, that is why. All right. I guess it doesn't matter which day is first, but also, I don't know if the receipts are in each bag. I want to say, if you follow me on Facebook, I think I was posting a picture of my cart with a receipt each evening. But I want to say the 3 days were anywhere from $30 to $40 a piece. So, I believe this was the first night. And I will say the first night, so it was Monday night last week, I took a bin to Once Upon a Child Tuesday morning. So I believe I found 5 or 6 pieces this night, and those went into the bin already and were purchased by Once Upon a Child. So I won't be able to show those to you, but that was a good thing. And then I also took a trip to the North Face this last Friday with Connor, and I think I found some North Face pieces each day, and I had already taken all of those out and taken them. So if you didn't see my North Face post on Facebook, let me actually pull it up because I'm probably going to forget the numbers off the top of my head, but it went pretty well. I mean, it went pretty well, but it actually ended up being less this time. They were only giving me $10 per item, which a lot of people had been commenting. So, sorry, my phone's going slow. Okay, scroll. Okay, so this is on my Instagram too. If you want to go read it, I'll just kind of skim through. Yeah, so if you remember last time I took, I think 20-ish items, got $360 because they paid me $15 per piece. This time I also had 25 items, but they only gave me $10 per piece. So I did get $250. I had not spent the original $360 yet, besides like a little bit for a hat for Connor. So I still had that. And this time, because I don't get up there that often, I just wanted to spend all of the credit. Like I said, Connor came with me. He wanted a backpack for school, so I definitely got him that. And I let him pick out anything he wanted for himself. It's a pretty small store, so there's like not a ton. He picked out a fleece for himself, and then he also picked out another hat. Sadly, we then went school shopping at a couple other stores around there, and he left the hat somewhere. So he already lost that hat, which is sad, but thankfully that was only like $15, and you know, credit-wise, it's basically nothing out of my pocket. I'm just mostly sad that he really wanted that hat and now he doesn't have it. So next time I go up, if they have the hat, I'll just buy him a new one. But anyways, yeah, after he got those things, I think the fleece was like $30, his backpack was like $50, and the hat was $15. So, you know, under $100 for the 3 things he wanted for himself. And then you guys know that Connor's been learning how to resell with me. So I did let him pick out anything in the store that he wanted to buy to be his item to flip on eBay. So he picked a pair of boots, and we actually got those listed last night. By we, I mean he. Like, I sat there with him, but he photographed them all himself. He put them into list perfectly. He typed out everything. If he had any questions, he would ask me, but he did it all himself. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then, so I think his boots were like 50 something. These prices that I'm telling you, that's the price we paid at the store, but obviously not the price that I paid out of pocket, because almost all the items that we brought them came from the bins. The first time a couple came from my personal closet, and then this time out of the 25, only 2 items were just our boys' old backpacks that were kind of getting a little bit raggedy. So yeah, my actual cost of goods, I want to say for all of the money I got from them, is probably around $50 or so. So yeah. So for $50, he got those things for himself. He got a pair of boots to flip that will probably flip for $70 to $90. And then I got 3 items. 2 of them are parkas. These are parkas that retail for $500 a piece. I think I can resell them for $200 to $300 a piece. And then 1 men's down, like 700 downfill vest. And that I think will go for over $100. So hopefully 1 to 150 on that. So I'm really, really happy with the trade that we did versus me listing all of these items on my own. And then this last time, I actually brought them items that were like quite a bit more worn, like not like unusable, but like items that have wash, wear, pilling and stuff, because when I gave them a call, it seemed like they were more concerned about just recycling the materials and keeping stuff out of a landfill more than having resellable items. So, and they said that if they can resell, they will. If not, they just recycle the material. So I felt okay about it. But yeah, this last batch was items I would not have picked up to list on my own because they were all flawed in one way or another, where I just don't want to describe that. But yeah. So very, very happy with that trade. I will continue to do it as long as it lasts. I did have, so yeah, $10 per item. I'd have to rethink my strategy a little, like anything over, say, a pound at the bins might not be worth it then. I had other people comment that they've went just this last week and still got 15. So I'm not sure if some stores still get 15. And then I did have someone comment, Doreen, thanks if you're watching. She commented that they told her, I believe at the Boulder store, that they're discontinuing the program at the end of the year. So I'm crossing my fingers that that's not true. I did call the Castle Rock location right after that just to see if they had heard anything, and they said they haven't heard anything. So I don't know. I'm hoping that it's not true. I looked up the whole program in general, and it looks like it started back in 2018. So even though I've only heard about it this year, you know, it's been going strong for several years at this point. So I'm really hoping that it doesn't get canceled. But if it does, I will let you know as soon as I know. And if anybody else has heard that, please let me know, because at this point, since she told me that any more North Face items I get, I'm going to try to take up pretty quickly so that it doesn't get canceled before I do it. All right, I feel like I've been talking for several minutes at this point. Hopefully that was helpful information to you guys. But yeah, I'm very happy with all of that. So what I got here to resell myself, this is a Free People sweater. So super soft. Honestly, I might look up a comp. I'm not sure. Like, I want to say most Free People sweaters would get me 30, but if it's not much more than 20, I would probably just take this to the buy sell trade stores first. And then this is Columbia, just a women's fleece. I'm going to try this at the buy sell trades first. This is a super thin fleece. I don't know if they're going to like this kind, so we'll see. They like the more of the thick ones. This needs a good wash, but I will list this on my own. It's LL Bean, just a men's really nice winter coat. It seems to be a newer model. Other than, like, it looks like it needs wash just because of, like, some food spots. Like, it seems to be in very good condition. I don't see any scuffing or actual stains or anything. So I want to say this is probably at least 50 bucks. Make a laundry pile. Okay, this one I already got listed, and this is probably the best thing I found over the 3 days. So this is a CU Buffs vintage chalk line. So that's the tag. But yeah, just like a front back graphic. This is so cool. Yeah, it has some pilling and a little bit of fading on the black, but for how old this is, I mean, I'm sure this is from like the 80s. I mean, maybe early 90s, I'm not sure, but for how old it is, it seems to be in pretty good condition still. I don't see any staining on the white, maybe the little bit of dinginess on the shoulders here. Anyways, I have this listed. Well, I have it listed, I think, at $199 on eBay, but my store always has like a 20-something% off sale. So I think right now it's down to $150 with a few watchers. Somebody on Instagram did offer me $85, and I might take him up on that. So we'll see. I wanted to let it ride a few days and see if it got a bunch of interest, but stuff like this, it's tricky because even though it's super cool, there's only, you know, it's a pretty specific market. Like, I think only if you go here or your family member goes here, you might want something like this. I don't know. But anyways, for that reason, I might take the quick 85, even though I do think it could sell between 120 to 150. And then if he's going to resell it for more, that's fine. I don't mind being a middleman as long as I'm making a good profit. So anyways, very cool find. Alrighty. This is not a brand I know. I only grabbed this because it was new. The brand is Lioness. Just like a blazer, new at tag. I mean, this is a good like fall color, I feel like. So I might start this at the buy sell trade stores though. This is Duluth Trading Co. And that is a women's flannel. So really good fall colors as well. This is probably 18 to 20, I would say. I don't know if I've actually ever sold this. The brand is She. I may have sold one or two pieces, so I can't really remember. This is camo, obviously. This is like a performance stretchy material though. And yeah, it is women's. I mean She, but I don't know if they're only women's. I would assume so, but anyways, I really don't know what a comp on this is, and I doubt buy sell trade will take it, so I will be listing this on my own. This is a new at tag, just Champion bra. It doesn't, I mean, this was probably sold at like Target, so I only grabbed it because it was new. Some of the parts, I can't tell if it's dingy or meant to be like this because it's pretty evenly throughout. That like parts of it are like a cream instead of a white, but yeah, I'm not sure. So I'll just note that when I list it. But bras, if they're new, I grab them. They're usually at least 10 bucks. I did not need to pick this up, but I did because I thought it was cute, and plushies are pretty easy to list. I just personally think Dalmatians are adorable, and this was one of my favorite Disney movies as a kid, 101 Dalmatians, so I did grab that. I think I can get 10 to 15 for it. This is just a 9 West blouse. Only bought this because it was new with tag. So, I don't know, hopefully 15 to 20. And then we got a pair of men's Gymshark shorts. A little bit wrinkled, but seem to be decent shape otherwise. So I think I'm going to take these just though to Plato's in Uptown. They usually buy Gymshark from me. I don't personally like selling it that much, so I'm okay with that. This was the third night, and I remember feeling like this was a complete waste of my time, so I'm glad this was the third night, because if this was Monday, I probably would have been like, I'm not even going to go the next 2 days because I do not like wasting my time. So yeah, but anyways, I did go, and I know that I'm pretty sure this whole bag is basically just for Once Upon a Child, and that's really all I found besides a handful of other things. The thing about this day though is I swear that this is more than I feel like it should be. Let me see if I can get my scale. Because like every other night it was around the same price, and I feel like I got way more. But my receipt says this is 15 pounds. So it was with tax $30.67. Let's see. I can't really see it now. Well, it's tricky because it's not fitting exactly, but I feel like the bag before I put these stuff back in it was about 7 pounds, and then this is just under a pound, and this is, I know that this is not a pound, so yeah, I feel like I paid way too much for this day, but I did not say anything because there's been many of times where I'm like, wow, that's a really good deal for everything I got, to where I feel like they gave me a better deal. So it's not the end of the world. The sad part is this, since it's only for Once Upon a Child, now is probably not going to make much more than the $30 back, but that's okay. All right. So this is actually something I'm going to take to the consignment sale, Ray Alana. I'm going to be dropping that stuff off to her hopefully in the next week or two. And then this is, I think, the only thing I'm going to list on my own from this haul. It's a Sanrio, what is it? It's not cinnamon roll, cinema roll. I don't know. So if you find the Hello Kitty ones, those ones go for a lot. This one seemed like it's going for about 25 to 30 plus shipping. So not bad for a Bins plushie. You know, that will get me close to my $30 back as well. So I guess if you look at it, this plushie plus that at the consignment sale is probably going to sell for 10 to 15, and then I'll get 35%. Like that would probably about make my money back, and then this would be profit from Once Upon a Child. But I'm still bummed. And then this one, I was going to say I'm going to put this in the consignment pile, but I feel like Pusheen stuff, this is what I'm talking about. That's the tag. I've sold a couple recently and they sold quickly for a decent amount for what it is, a little plushie. So I might list this on my own actually and probably get like 10 bucks for that. All right, I'm going to dump this so I can put it right back in. This is just some cheapy headphones for Cyrus. Hopefully they work for his school. We bought him some that the kind that it said on his school supply list to buy, and when we got there at the back to school night, they were like, oh, it actually, you need this, which is opposite of what the thing said. So these are really cheap, but hopefully that will work for what he needs for school. And if they do, that's at least, I feel like the ones we got him are like 10 to 20 bucks. So. These need a good wash, but it's Old Navy, just some black pants. Again, all of this I think is going to Once Upon a Child. I'll tell you if there's any I'm going to list on my own. We got Cat and Jack. We got Oshkosh. This is Little Me. Carter's. Abercrombie. These are really cute. Girls' pants. Cat and Jack. Oshkosh. Oops. I don't know this brand. Mikkirae. The tag is super like faint, so you probably can't see it even if I'm holding it up correctly, but these are just cute little waffle short. These are a cute style, some between girls jeans. It's a little wide leg, that's really cute. I did find two little sleepies. So I might just list these two on my own because I can usually get like 15 to 20. This one's Disney even, so it'll probably do maybe even 20 to 25. So I will check comps on these two before I decide to take them to Once Upon a Child. When I saw this in the bin, I thought it was Riley and Crew. It was like down like this, and I know they have a similar print, but it's just Cat and Jack, so that will go to Once Upon a Child. If that was Riley and Crew, I would probably list it on my own. This is Justice. This is Carter's. Babies R Us. So I think Babies R Us has been closed down, right? Like I know it is in Colorado Springs, but I think it's everywhere. So I don't know if they'll take this because I think it's been closed for several years, and you know they say a couple year window for what they want to buy. But they did buy some koala baby from me in the last few months, so we'll see. Old Navy girl blouse. We got Gerber onesie. Carter's. This is Next Baby. That's really cute little cat thing. Cat booty. We got Carter's again. Carter's. And then this feels like the little sleepies. I've never heard of this brand. Milkberry. So I will probably do a quick look up just to see if I can get 15 plus. Otherwise that will go to Once Upon a Child. Alright, so last day, well, middle day, I believe this stuff came from. So what do we got? These are going to get thrown in the wash, but some women's La Sportiva hiking shoes. And even though they look this dirty, like look at the treads, they're really, really good. So I think these are probably still at least 40 bucks after I clean them up. I believe this was the most expensive day, and I think my total was around like 41. This I just thought was a cute sweater. I don't know the brand. Buttermelon. I don't know. We'll see. I might even try that on, but I might also take that to the buy sell trade stores. Got a rip skirt. These definitely sell for less than they used to, but I still love finding them. This one's a really pretty pattern and a longer length, so I want to say probably still around 25 on that. I like Talbot, so I did grab this. This is Tea by Talbot. Just like a super lightweight sweater. Probably 15 to 20 out of that. This is a Patagonia Capeline base layer, like a vintage USA made one. You know, these still usually go for at least 20 bucks. Although I was gonna input the numbers into Patagonia's trade-in site and see if this was worth me like sending to them in the mail. Because some pieces they'll pay you, you know, similar to the North Face, you can get mail-in store credit. They just minus the shipping label cost, which for one item alone is probably not worth it, but I probably have some more I can try it with. But I think it gives you an idea of what it might pay you before you even have to say yes. So that's what I was going to do as far as just inputting it and see if it was even worth doing that or just listing it myself. Because yeah, like obviously if I can send some very basic pieces like this and eventually have enough to buy, say, a nice patterned cinchilla or a down jacket, that would be way better than selling a bunch of pieces like this. This is Eliza J. New It Tag knit dress. That's probably, I don't know, I've never actually sold Eliza J, I don't think, so we'll see. These are some Carhartt, just black pants. They're not very special, they're not vintage, they're not double knee or anything, just a normal carpenter pant. So these are probably like 18 to 20, I would say. Trying to leave this one for last because it's the best. This I'm going to check if my boys want, but otherwise I'll put it in Once Upon a Child, even though it probably weight-wise is not gonna, I might even lose money off of it, but I've mentioned in the past, sometimes I just like sending this stuff to them because somebody will find it and be happy, and that makes me happy. So like on eBay, I could probably not sell this for more than 10 bucks, but I did buy it thinking my boys might like it. Poetry for Neanderthals. It seems like you just have to like get them to guess the word without saying the actual word, and like with it'll say certain things that you can't say, I believe. So what's that other game that's similar to that? Anyways, so that's that. All right, and then another whole bag worth. Oh, this, I think this was a really good stuff actually. This is all for Once Upon a Child, I think. Yeah, this day was $41.93. I'm gonna just show you this. You guys have probably already seen my Instagram or my Facebook anyways. This was in a throwback bin for sure. I looked it over for flaws and didn't notice anything, but so this is Harry Potter from the Wizarding World Slytherin robe, new with tag, with a retail of $155. Like we were literally just at Universal in California and people were wearing these and buying them at the gift shops there. So I think I might be able to get definitely over 50. I did see some sold in the 70 to 80, so we'll see. There wasn't seeming to be a ton listed, but yeah, if you're gonna go there anyways and you're willing to spend $150 in the park, why not spend half of that on eBay? So that was an exciting find. And then this I just got for Chris. He loves when I find these for him. This is just like a Lodge grill pan, so he actually has a pile in the garage of ones that he just needs to clean and season, so we will add that to there. Alrighty. At this point, I'll just dump my Once Upon a Child stuff back into the Falcon. Like there was like, I want to say this is a lot of Matilda Jane and stuff, which I used to love to sell that on my own, and I don't anymore. It doesn't sell for a ton, but I still think people love it, and Once Upon a Child loves it. So these three pieces I should have left, but I'm like, It barely weighs anything. I could probably at least get something for them. I don't think Once Upon a Child's gonna buy them because they're swimsuit separates and they usually won't unless you have the full set. But I'm gonna just put it in there and see what happens, and then whatever they don't take, I'll probably just put in the consignment sale bin. So yeah, this is a Matilda Jane swim top only, and then these ones are both Sweet Honey. So that's Sweet Honey's tag, but then these are just the bottoms only. So sad. I found a ton of other sets and like one pieces that were fully intact, so I'll show you those. This is just Carter's. Another Carter's. Yeah, this one is a full set. This one is just Crown and Ivy brand though. They always seem to love to buy these like full-on nightgown, not a nightgown, what are these? One-piece like romper hooded things. This is what always tricks me because they'll tell me like they won't buy just a rash guard or something, but they have definitely bought them from me. So I just keep picking them up because worst case, these do sell perfectly well at consignment sales. But yeah, this is just Carter's rash guard top only. So we'll see. Got Cat and Jack swim trunks. Got some Cat and Jack shoes. This is Cat and Jack overalls. This is a Matilda Jane top. Sweet Honey bathing suit. This is also Sweet Honey. This one has this on it, which makes me feel like it wasn't even worn. Like, I might look these up and see if they're worth listing then on my own. A couple of these one pieces. Got some Old Navy leggings. What is this? This one, we'll see if they take it because there's no like neck tag, and a lot of times they'll just look and then put it back in the bin if they can't find the tag. But the tag on this one is just right here, and it does say the brand is Sawyer and Finn, and it does have the size tag, which is 910. I'm sure I can sell this if I need to, if they don't take it. But look at that cute fall dress. Really cute. I hadn't heard of this brand. I could tell that all of this stuff was in the same bin. Like, it was just really lucky, and nobody was even digging in there with me. I really liked the time of the day I went because there was usually only one more rotation, and then people just go through that real fast. They'll look in the one bin that pulls up in front of them and then just leave for the day. So then I spend the next 45 minutes going through everything else. Love Plus Grow. So I hadn't heard of that one. Just like a little boy's swim trunk. This is Carter's little skirt. This is Ruffle Butts. One piece. Old Navy vest. Garanimals. These are too small for Sai. I love these pants for them. These are Boys Vineyard Vines pants. Honestly, these I can usually sell for like 15 to 20 bucks, so I'll see if I'm gonna list those on my own or not. Like, I swear I do better with kids Vineyard Vines than I do with like adult Vineyard Vines. Carter's little preemie fleece sleeper. This one is Wonder Nation dress. This is Boys Under Armour camo. We've got Matilda Jane, just a basic white shirt. And lastly, Sweet Honey dress. So, yeah, $40 that day, $30 that day. Pretty sure, yeah, that was that one. I don't know where the third receipt is, but I feel like the first day was also close to $30, so it's at around $100 for everything I showed you, minus about 5 or 6 pieces for Once Upon a Child, and probably 5 or 6 pieces that went straight to the North Face. So I think that's still pretty good for what I have here. I do think even though I feel like I overpaid for that Once Upon a Child stuff. I think I'll get pretty much most of my money back with the stuff I'm going to take there. And I'm going to try to work on that today, get my bin packed up, because I'll be in the area tomorrow to do that. So yeah, my kids are at school for their real first day. You know, Connor went on Friday, but it was more of like a orientation for 6th grade only. So today's like the first day where they're actually learning stuff. And so I went to 4th grade today. So I have a couple hours till they get off. And so yeah, I'm going to go do that. And I will catch up with y'all in the next one. Bye, friends.